Whether you're a new or seasoned player, I hope this video helps make your hunting experience more enjoyable and maybe clears up exactly how these creatures work. Chapaas are probably the first animal you'll hunt in Palia. There's some really fun lore around Chapaas, but I'll let you figure that out as you play. I'll stick mostly to mechanics in this video. Chapaas, like other huntables in the game, have three types: regular, also known as spotted, striped, and the azure Chapaa. Both regular and striped can be found in Kilima, as well as Bahari Bay, but the azure can only be found on the southern side of Bahari. Choppers are the only animal as of right now that will disappear if you don't take them down within a set amount of time after startling them by either your player's distance to them or a hit with an arrow. Once they start running, they will eventually burrow into the ground, so it's advised to use slowdown arrows, especially on the striped Chapaas because they take a couple more hits than the regular. For the azure, it's a different story altogether. Azure Chapaas are the magical ones. Each animal has a magical version with a power, and the Azure's special power is to split into multiples. It creates faux versions of itself to confuse the player to get away. You'll need a dispel arrow to counteract the ability, and if you do startle it by running past, you'll need to hit its real body with the dispel arrow to daze it. There can only be one Azure Chapaa spawned into the world at any time. In a recent update, they changed the Azure Chapaa to make it easier to hunt. Before, you would have to hit it once to activate its power and then hit it again with a dispel arrow. Even using a dispel to start with would still activate its multiplying power. This caused some confusion with players, especially newer players, on if the dispel was working, so they updated it just recently to match the other huntables. Chapaas drop meat, fur, and on occasion their tails. Meat is used for cooking and as gifts. The fur is requested as gifts too, and used in some furniture recipes. The tails are rarer and mostly meant to be sold. However, some NPCs do ask for them as gifts. Sernuks can be found all over Palia, both in Kilima and Bahari Bay. You will, however, find more elder Sernuks in Bahari, and you'll only find the magical Proudhorn there as well, specifically on the north side. Sernuks do not disappear once startled like the Chapaas do. They will run away from the player and then calm down or settle, continuing on with their idle animation. This is important to remember when hunting a Proudhorn specifically. You always want to track while keeping a decent distance, especially without dispel arrows on hand, so the Proudhorn can settle and be an easier shot. If you're someone who doesn't wish to hunt but want to level hunting, you can always be the friend who startles them by firing an arrow next to the animal, and you'll get the loot drop. It works for Chapaas too. Just keep in mind that if a Sernuk settles, any player who startled it will no longer get the loot drop unless they make contact with an arrow or startle it again. Huntable creatures essentially reset when they settle down when it comes to who startled them. The arrow hits still count though, so don't worry about that. The Proudhorn's ability is to teleport away from the player, making it extremely hard to track without the use of a hunter's horn, which is a recipe unlocked through the hunting levels, or a party on the lookout for it. You can counteract its teleportation for a short period of time using dispel arrows, and I recommend when hunting with friends to have someone using slowdown arrows as well. Don't bother swapping arrows mid-hunt. You're better off using just dispel when you're alone to keep the teleportation at bay. There can only be one Proudhorn spawned into the world at any time, and due to the game being in beta, the Proudhorn can occasionally get to a place where it can't be hunted, sometimes even stuck in a rock. If this happens, just try to swap to a new server, and make sure you take a photo. You can use the K key on your keyboard to file a detailed bug report so the S6 team can help make the game better. Sernuks drop meat, hide, and on occasion their antlers. Meat is used for cooking as well as for gifts. Hide is turned into leather using the loom, and antlers sell for a decent price. Elder antlers are needed for the hunter's horn recipe, so consider keeping some of those on hand. All three Muujin types can be found on both sides of Bahari Bay, but are more common on the north side in denser forest. They appear as base Muujin, banded Muujin, and the magical blue bristle. They can spawn on the ground as well as in trees, meaning you cut down the tree and Muujin spawn out of it. This does not affect bug spawn rate from trees like Bahari bees. A common misconception is that Muujin duplicate when they go up into a tree. This is simply the tree spawning more Muujin, or others were chased up the tree and ignored, and then they ran out once you chopped it down. To hunt a Muujin, you can use any arrow type and any bow level. However, slowdown arrows are also recommended to make life easier, and 2 hits will take a base Muujin down. Side note, you don't actually have to upgrade your bow at all if you don't want to. The bow just means you can shoot at a farther distance once upgraded. It has no other effects. You'll need to spell arrows for the blue bristle to counteract its invisibility though. Muujin will run away from the players for a short period of time before locating a tree to climb up into. When a Muujin runs up a tree, its health will reset. Originally, it was thought that the magical Muujin, the blue bristle, were only able to be created by chasing a banded Muujin up a flow tree. This has since been proved otherwise. All 3 types of Muujin spawn in the world. It's simply an added feature that you can level them up by chasing one up a flow tree. A base Muujin will turn into a banded, and a banded into a blue bristle when they go up a flow tree before being hunted. Anyone who cuts the tree down that a Muujin is hiding in will also get the associated drop once it's been hunted. This is great for parties as well as helpful for hunting blue bristles, since they do turn invisible once released from a tree or startled. You can chop down the tree and your friends can take aim to fire. Blue bristles can have an unlimited amount of them spawned in the world at any time. Muujins drop meat that can be used for various recipes, fur, the same as Chapaas, and on occasion their manes. Currently, manes are not used in any furniture or tool recipes, but will most likely come in as a necessary resource in the future. Well, those are the 3 current huntable creatures in the world of Palia. Remember that things change as updates occur, and the game is in open beta. So this information was accurate at the time of upload, but might be different when you're watching it. If you did like the video, especially this type of video, let me know in the comments or give it a thumbs up. And maybe subscribe if you feel like it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a very magical day.